Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us. This afternoon, Governor Josh Green will be signing several important measures that extend critical housing support for low-income Kūpuna and strengthen the state's dementia care and training infrastructure. Facilitated questions and answers with media will follow promptly after remarks conclude, and the formal bill signing will commence shortly thereafter. Without further ado, it is my honor to introduce Governor Josh Green.
Aloha, everyone. So glad to be here as we begin the final stretch of our bill signing ceremonies. So today we're going to focus on Kūpuna Caucus bills. So before I go any further, super thanks to the legislative leadership, to dear friends at ARP, just everyone who stepped up and made these priorities. So, we're moving some of the needed solutions down the field, and I'm grateful. Let me dive right into the two bills we're going to talk about today. Okay, next slide. House Bill 703 extends the Kūpuna Rent Supplement Program from its sunset date, which was 2026, out to 2028. So full commitment to making sure that we can house our Kūpuna. And we know that housing is one of our largest challenges. The housing committees and the entirety of the legislature have made this a priority, and there are big solutions that are being put into place. I actually just signed a couple transformative pieces of legislation quietly this morning, which you'll hear more about later today, to get houses built. But until we have inventory, it's very hard. It's hard for everybody. It's particularly hard for our Kūpuna who are, on fixed incomes, and it's hard to find places to live. So this bill makes it available to individuals 62 and older who are homeless or at risk of homelessness. It's critically important. I received a letter just a half hour ago from a woman in this circumstance, and I was glad to know that we're moving forward. It's never enough, but it will help more people. Also, there's extra housing support and rent supplement assistance to improve access in this bill. So that is very, very important. I'll let the chairs and leaders talk more specifically about the bills, but I'm very proud to know that our legislature cares so deeply about our elderly. And then the next bill, we'll jump over to Senate Bill 1252, helping us join in the fight against Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease and dementia in general requires education, and we need to support what happens at JABSM. So we're establishing positions to analyze and develop curricula. We're working to strengthen our medical workforce by providing extra dementia-informed care. There's a $525,000 appropriation. And just on a personal note, my stepmom has very advanced dementia, and this year my father received a diagnosis of Alzheimer's disease and is in the very early stages. So brilliant man, it's difficult to see, and so when I think that our legislature is there fighting for people and hearing what the advocates have to say and setting into motion programs that are going to help us year over year over year, I'm just so proud. And so I'm grateful to you guys for doing that for my parents and so many parents. So thank you for that. And with that, I will just say mahalo nui loa. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys this day more than others. Aloha.
Mahalo, Governor. Next, I would like to introduce State Senator Stanley Chang.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd first like to thank Governor Josh Green for signing these extremely important bills. He's been such a champion on these issues, and so we're very glad to work with him in the Senate. I also want to thank our Kūpuna Caucus Chair in the Senate, Senator Sharon Moriwaki, who was unable to be with us today. She's just a relentless advocate on these issues, and so I'm always proud to help support her efforts. The first bill today, HB 703, which the governor mentioned, I think is one of the most effective ways that we have to prevent Kūpuna homelessness in the state. It's the cheapest, it's the most efficient way, and of course the best way to prevent a Kūpuna from becoming homeless is by offering them this shallow subsidy for their rent so they'd never fall out. They never get evicted in the first place. Almost 400 kupuna a year are estimated to get evicted this year, and there are over 1,000 kupuna who will experience homelessness this year. So this is one of the best tools we have to prevent that trend. Our second bill, SB 1252, thank you, Governor, for sharing your personal story. My father also passed away of dementia several years ago, and my mother was his primary caregiver for over a decade, and it was extremely difficult for her. It was very difficult to get good help for her, to find affordable help for her, and that's why expanding the workforce and expanding the capacity of our medical infrastructure here in Hawaii is so critical to addressing this issue. So I'm very pleased that with this bill, we're going to have a greater emphasis on elderly issues. The number of kupuna who are going to experience dementia is going to triple in the next 35 years. I represent one of the most rapidly aging districts in the state, and so it's bills like this that are so critical to helping our kupuna. Thank you very much.
Mahalo, Senator Chang. We're hearing some very moving personal stories today, aren't we? Next, please welcome Representative Corey Chun.
Good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, I just want to say mahalo to Governor Green for giving us the opportunity to be here to sign these two critical pieces of legislation to help our kupuna. I want to thank you and your administration for all of their support, especially the Executive Office on Aging, who's just been a great partner with the Kūpuna Caucus. I also want to say mahalo to my Senate co-convener, Senator Sharon Moriwaki, who's also been a great partner, and my House co-convener, Representative Greg Takayama, for all his support and guidance. It's been great. You know, it would be remiss if I also don't thank the chairs of the Human Services Committees in the House and Senate, as well as the housing chairs. And actually, most importantly, the chair of Finance and the chair of the Ways and Means Committee, because, you know, they're really instrumental in making sure that these bills had the funding that they needed to become reality. You know, and last of all, I just want to thank all the members of the Kūpuna Caucus who are, you know, make up our colleagues, community organizations, and advocates. And mahalo for all you do. We could not get this work done without all of your help. So first, we talk about House Bill 703. It's a critical piece of the Kūpuna Caucus package this year. So this issue was brought to the caucus by Senator Troy Hashimoto, who was a former House co-convener, and he worked on this issue when he was the housing chair in the House. You know, our kupuna, they face added pressures. They're mostly on fixed incomes, and especially in our challenging housing market. So this measure will help provide financial assistance to our kupuna by extending the rent supplement program. Housing is so important, and this measure will help keep our seniors in their homes. SB 1252 is a bill aimed at prevention. So Alzheimer's and dementia are a growing concern among our kupuna. With the onset of Alzheimer's and dementia on the rise, there are cutting-edge treatments that are becoming available that can actually slow the disease. The key to this, though, similar to someone who's diagnosed with cancer, is early prevention and detection. The earlier we catch the disease, the better the outcomes are with these treatments. I want to thank Senator Kim for crafting this bill to utilize JABSOM and our medical students to really provide the much-needed training to focus on early detection and prevention. So I'd just like to close with saying our kupuna are so important for us. They are our family members, neighbors, and friends, and are vital to our communities. While we celebrate these wins today, we all recognize that there's still more work to be done. So I look forward to continue working with all of you in the Kūpuna Caucus on policies to support our kupuna. Thank you.
Mahalo, Representative Chun. Up next, our final speaker, I would like to welcome AARP Hawaii Advocacy Associate Director Audrey Suga Nakagawa.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon and aloha. First of all, I want to thank Governor Green and the legislature for passing these two very important Kūpuna bills. These bills represent their commitment to Hawaii's Kūpuna. So on behalf of all of Kūpuna ARP, really thank you for your commitment to them. HB 703 ensures continued critical access to these supplemental rent assistance, and which really helps our Kūpuna on fixed income to avoid homelessness and maintain stable housing. And as mentioned by the previous speakers, that housing continues to be a major challenge for the state, and this particularly impacts those who are on this fixed income or low income. The average Social Security income for Kūpuna, who primarily may rely on this, is only $1,300. And so if you see a rising rent that goes from $600, $700 to $1,000, it's almost impossible for anyone to continue to live in a basic housing and then maintain and purchase their essential household needs. So, this particular bill becomes a very, very critical lifeline. We know that many Kūpuna are getting priced out of their homes that they have lived in for decades because of the rising costs. So without assistance from family and friends, they will face homelessness. So HB 703 provides this lifeline to avoid that outcome. On the second bill, Hawaii is very fortunate to have one of the longest life expectancy in the nation. But this blessing presents challenges as well. As people age, the likelihood of developing chronic health diseases increases, especially of dementia and Alzheimer's. So this becomes of a major concern. Fortunately, as indicated by Rep. Chun, there are new medications and new treatments that are emerging that will help slow the progression of dementia. And this advancement, if it's shared with our healthcare providers, this will help improve the quality of care. SB 1252 strengthens our healthcare system by investing in dementia training and education. And this helps ensure our aging population will continue to receive compassionate and informed care so that from our professionals who can support them in their critical needs. So together, these bills honor the dignity of Hawaii's older adults and help build a more resilient, age-friendly community. Thank you.
Mahalo, Audrey. At this time, I have been informed that the media does not have any questions. So I'd like to invite Governor Green, our state legislators, and key stakeholders to come up to the podium for the formal bill signing and subsequent picture taking.
Okay, everyone. So again, just a mahalo for this work, legislative team, advocacy team. Just extraordinary to see people come together, just continue year over year to do the right thing, and it takes that kind of work to make this system caring for our Kūpuna. So we're going to sign this bill now for everyone who struggles and wrestles with the housing challenges, particularly our elderly, and we'll be back. We know that these leaders are committed completely, year over year, to making sure that Hawaii is the most compassionate state in the country. Okay. And then one more bill. This is the bill relating to dementia, and again, so many of our loved ones wrestle with dementia, and again, we have to build the system. Things, we learn every year. We have new innovations, so we can't stay still. The silver tsunami is upon us, which means that we're aging to a place where we'll have more elderly individuals than ever before, peaking sometime in the 2030s, it looks like. And again, it is wonderful that we have relatives that are living into their 90s or even beyond, but they need a lot of support. And that's why this legislature is such an extraordinary body. They provide that support.
Mahalo, Governor. This now concludes our formal program.
As if the press wants to stay around, I might.